He fought for his country. Now his country is preparing to kill him. Jeffrey Hutchinson, once a decorated Gulf War veteran, today he's inmate number 15492 on Florida's death row. And tonight, May 1st, 2025, he's scheduled to die by lethal injection. But not everyone believes he should, because what happened that night in '98 still raises more questions than answers. It was the Friday after Thanksgiving, a quiet street in Lakeland, Florida. Police found the bodies of 4 people inside a small rental home. A mother and her 3 young children, shot, execution style, no signs of forced entry, no robbery, no fingerprints, except one, Jeffrey's. He had dated the woman, Melissa Drake, for almost a year, but they had broken up just a few weeks earlier. He claimed they remained friends, but her family said otherwise. They said she was scared of him, that he was jealous, possessive, and angry. When police brought him in, Jeffrey didn't run, didn't flinch, didn't speak. He sat in silence, staring straight ahead, then asked for a lawyer. The case seemed open and shut. Gunshot residue on his clothes, a spent shell casing in his car, and one final detail, a suicide note found in his home, dated the day before the murders. It read, "I tried to do the right thing, but the right thing doesn't exist anymore." The jury took just 3 hours to decide. Guilty, 4 counts of murder, 1 sentence, death. But what if Jeffrey didn't act alone? In the years that followed, cracks began to show. A DNA sample on one child's blanket didn't match him. An unknown male profile, never identified. The gun, never found. The suicide note, handwriting analysis was inconclusive. Still, appeal after appeal was denied. Until now, there's no time left. And Jeffrey, he stopped fighting. He says he's at peace, that some truths are too big to carry anymore, and that tonight, the wait ends. Jeffrey has spent 26 years in a cell the size of a parking spot. No windows, no clocks, just time, endless and heavy. He reads the Bible every day. He memorized the book of Psalms. He says he's forgiven Melissa and himself. But he never forgave the system. Not once. In 2014, he filed a handwritten motion from prison, claiming the DNA on the blanket belonged to a local officer. The court refused to retest. In 2017, his public defender quit after saying, "This case haunts me." But nothing changed. He spent the next 8 years alone. No appeals left, no visitors, not even on his birthday. Until last week. A stranger showed up at the prison gates, a woman named Claire, a true crime podcaster. She had read about his case, and something didn't sit right. Why would a veteran kill 3 kids? She asked. And why leave his own fingerprint behind, so perfectly placed? She requested a last interview, one that Jeffrey agreed to. In the recording, he speaks slowly, measured, emotionless. "I did some terrible things," he says, "but not what they said, not with that." Claire asked what he'd say to the children's father. Jeffrey paused, then said, "I see their faces every night. That's the part I never get to forget." She asked about the suicide note. He said it was never meant to be found. "It was a goodbye to myself, not to them." Claire released the audio online. Some called it haunting. Others called it manipulation. But one thing's for sure, it went viral. Within 24 hours, the Florida Clemency Board was flooded with messages. Delay the execution. Test the DNA. Ask better questions. But the state held firm. No stays, no delays, no mercy. And so tonight, inside the execution chamber at Florida State Prison, they are preparing the IV. The chamber is cold, the lights are low, and Jeffrey Hutchinson is already strapped to the gurney. At 6:51 p.m., the warden asks if he has any final words. He nods once, then looks straight at the glass. "To the people who hate me, I understand. To the people who loved me, I'm sorry I wasn't stronger." And then he whispers, "Melissa, I see you. I always have." There's silence, just the hum of fluorescent lights and the soft breathing of the witnesses behind the glass. The IV is started. 3 drugs, 1 outcome. At 6:56 p.m., a prison doctor checks for a pulse. There is none. Jeffrey Hutchinson is pronounced dead. But hours later, one final twist. The woman, Claire, received an envelope. No return address, no postage stamp, just one word on the back. Wait. Inside, a cassette tape, old, dusty, with Jeffrey's initials on the label. On the tape, a voice, his voice, shaky, breathless. I know they won't believe me. I stopped trying years ago, but Claire, if you're hearing this, then at least someone knows I didn't kill those kids. The tape ends with static, in a single line. They made sure no one ever saw the other fingerprint. Was it real? Was it manipulation? Or was it the dying truth of a man the state just silenced? To this day, the unknown DNA profile remains untested, and Jeffrey's last request, to be buried next to his mother, was denied. So now we ask you, was justice served, or was something darker buried that night, alongside the truth? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you believe some stories deserve a second look, subscribe for more. This was Final Countdown, the last days of Jeffrey Hutchinson. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, different fate.